Yeah, so the next 10 years for me, I think there's two main ones. One is to develop a team and expand as a team, uh, be able to give opportunities to others, especially others that might not have access to video production gear, and get them the education that they need in order to be able to do something similar. And the other goal would be highlight people at a local level, heroes, especially educators. And I think that's the direction that it's starting to go in naturally on its own. Is interviewing. I'm interviewing educators and giving them a platform to be able to express their ideas and also the issues within the education system that aren't necessarily being addressed. Um, so for me, over the next 10 years, I would love to work on more documentary projects and things like that that would help bring those issues to light. If you're looking for video production or photography services, whether it be for weddings or events or it's for your business, if you want to work with a vendor that is collaborative, that definitely will want to see your vision through and isn't necessarily just trying to do it one way. My way of working is very flexible, and I pride myself in that. And that's definitely something that I want to continue to do. So if you are interested in any of those kind of services and that sounds good to you, then definitely reach out.
Mi gente presente.
Greetings, everyone. My name is Juan Pablo Esquivel, and this is Cooperative Economics and Latinidad. Today we have Jesse Obayes from Jesse O Visuals. Before we begin, we would like for y'all to join the Facebook group called Support Latine-owned businesses. Come check it out to see the various Latine-owned businesses across the U.S. Join, own, support, invest, and create Latinidad. Now, Jesse, thank you for coming and sharing this time with us. Would you mind introducing yourself and sharing the business of which you own?
Sure. Thanks for having me. Really appreciate you, developing this platform for Latinos and for people all around. I think it's really important what you're doing, so definitely keep it up. I'm excited to be here. My name is Jesse Obayes. I'm a New York City, Westchester, New York-based videographer and photographer. I have two businesses. One is Jesse O Visuals, and the other one is Infinity Frames. Jesse O Visuals focuses on video and photo production for small businesses and individuals and entrepreneurs in the local area, whereas Infinity Frames is a wedding photography and videography company.
Nice. And what did you start your own businesses?
So I had studied video production in college, and I was actually introduced to it in high school. I was lucky enough to get introduced to, video production programs in high school, and that is really what initially triggered my interest. Went to Syracuse University, studied video production there, but it really, took shape afterwards when I started working at advertising agencies and production studios in New York City. That's where I developed experience. That's where I got to meet people in the industry. And then eventually I was working full time, but also freelancing, simultaneously. And I was juggling the two. That's when I started getting into weddings and my own production, because although my passion at the end of the day is art and it is creating, I'm also very passionate about business. I'm very passionate about entrepreneurship. So what I was doing outside of work, that's where I was really learning the entrepreneurial side of things. And eventually I had to make a decision. I couldn't keep doing both. I had to decide which one I wanted. Did I want to work full time for a company, or did I want to go off on my own, start something new? And I took the leap, and honestly, it was one of the best decisions I've ever made, and I haven't looked back.
So you say you started this in high school, like the programs, understanding?
Yeah, exactly. I want to say around 8th grade is when I first was introduced to them. But then 9th through 12th grade, that's where I really started to, get deeper into it. And so I grew up in Sleepy Hollow, New York, in Westchester. It's a little bit north of New York City. And we're talking about, I want to say 2006, 2005, a little earlier is when I was introduced to this stuff. And this is when YouTube was like new. So, it's not like now where everyone's making TikToks, everyone's making videos on Instagram. All this is like back when it was first starting. And I feel really lucky that I got that opportunity, especially back then. And yeah, then it transitioned into college and beyond.
How would you describe the creation process from filming to editing and publishing?
I think first it starts with developing a relationship with either the client or the person who, has the initial vision for what you want to create. and I like to be collaborative. I never like to be, that photographer or video production lead who wants to just take complete control. I think it's about collaboration. Um, so it's always about having a conversation before we go to shoot, getting organized. Organization is definitely key and very important when it comes to filmmaking. And then from there, it's once you're organized, then it's about having fun. That's another thing that a lot of people tend to forget sometimes. It's sometimes it's all business, but at the end of the day, it's a fun business. So it's all about having fun when you're shooting. Then going into post-production, that's also when organization is key. I always like to decide on what the edit is going to be before filming, as opposed to just filming and going into it kind of blind, because you want to have that full vision in place. And most of the time when you have the edit in mind, that tells you all you need to know, and that gives you all the direction you need for filming the actual product itself.
And what video, photography, and editing tips have you learned?
I think some of the most important tips I've learned have to do with being organized, like I said before. My mentor, who was a lead editor at the studio that I was working at for a few years, his emphasis was on being organized, organizing your folders a certain way, organizing your projects a certain way. And before that, I really wasn't organized. I would just name my folders, whatever, folder A, folder B, not really thinking through the importance of being organized, which I think that's one of the top tips. But another thing is teamwork. As an artist, everyone kind of wants to, the number one, wants to be they want to see their vision come to life. But at the end of the day, it is mostly about teamwork if you really want to create, big productions and really want to create things that are impactful. So I think those are the two, elements that I would say are some of my biggest takeaways from the people that I work with.
What are some of the softwares you work with?
Sure. So I mostly use Adobe. So Adobe Premiere Pro, After Effects, Audition, Photoshop. I usually stick to those. I used to use Final Cut, but I like to use everything in Adobe because it's all seamless and they all work nicely together.
What marketing strategies have you learned so far?
Honestly, what I'm learning more and more of now is that sometimes you just have to pay to play, in a sense. Like, you have to be willing to invest in good marketing and good advertising. You can try, Instagram all you want and social media and all that stuff. And it does work to a certain extent, but I think I really started seeing results for my business when I decided to actually start investing money either into platforms that would get my work, seen by more people, or investing in, people that know what they're doing in marketing that could help guide me in the right direction. And for videography and photography specifically, I invest in websites like Wedding Wire, The Knot, Thumbtack, Gig Salad, just to name a few. These are platforms that will get you seen, and it's much more effective than me, just relying on referrals or just relying on, word of mouth, for example. Although those are also very important, and that's why it's important to maintain a great reputation. That's why, at the end of the day, for me, it's about providing a good service, which again goes back to that battle between being an artist and being a businessman, right? Because as an artist, you usually have a certain vision you want to achieve, but as a businessman, you want to make sure that, you're getting the client what they need and that you're helping execute their vision as well. So that's why, to me, collaboration and teamwork is very important.
Who are interesting people that you've met, and what experiences have you had through your travels with this work?
As far as people, there's so many that come to mind.
I bet.
Yeah, especially because I meet new people all the time. And that's one of the things that I love about this industry is I'm always meeting new people. I'm always making new connections. There's always something to learn from someone. And it's the kind of industry where you meet people from so many industries that I'm always picking up bits and pieces from different industries, which is one of my favorite things. But, a few years ago at the studio that I was working at, one of their biggest clients is Showtime Boxing. So one of the biggest memories that comes to mind was getting the opportunity to go with them and film the Mayweather-McGregor series. And, actually seeing Floyd Mayweather and people like that, in person, people that I normally would only see on television, seeing them in person, that was a little bit of a mind-blowing experience for me. I got to go to Cali, which I've been to a few times, but never to work. So I think that's one of the aspects that's the most exciting, is meeting new people and seeing new places, for sure.
What are your thoughts on cooperative economics and Latinidad.
For me, when it comes to cooperative economics, I think it starts with education. First of all, it starts with educating people on different things they could be doing, educating them on the importance of cooperative economics, because I feel like not a lot of people know what it is or know the importance of it. And it doesn't always have to be, necessarily buying from businesses that are local to you, that are Latino businesses. I mean, I think that is definitely one strong way to do it and one way that it is done. But I think also something that I do with my friends who also are entrepreneurs is we barter our services. Like I'll barter a video shoot or a photo shoot for, one of my friends' products or something like that. And we help each other out in that way, and we help build in our communities. But that's one way. And then to me, education is really important because, like I said, if it wasn't for that program that I had in high school that, triggered me to pursue videography and video production, I probably wouldn't be doing this today. So I think investing in education is also one of the number one things that we can do.
What goals would you like to achieve within the next 10 years in your business?
Yeah, so the next 10 years for me, I think there's two main ones. One is to develop a team and expand as a team, be able to give opportunities to others, especially others that might not have access to video production gear, and get them the education that they need in order to be able to do something similar. And the other goal would be similar to what I'm starting to do now, which I have a new personal project called the Archetype Project, which essentially I'm trying to highlight local community heroes. I feel like too much attention in the media is put towards celebrity and people that, they do make an impact, but not necessarily at a local level. So I want to highlight people at a local level, heroes, especially, educators. And I think that's the direction that it's starting to go in naturally on its own is, I'm interviewing educators and giving them a platform to be able to express their ideas and also the issues within the education system that aren't necessarily being addressed. So for me, over the next 10 years, I would love to work on more documentary projects and things like that that would help bring those issues to light. When I started that project, it was more like, I don't know if you saw my original post about it, but it was supposed to be more about like just heroes in general, whether it be, some people's heroes are cops, some people's heroes are police, teachers, some people's heroes are businessmen, entrepreneurs. But the more I dig into the project, the more I get into it, the more I realize like, I feel like education is like that niche that really needs like more of a spotlight,
What advice would you give? Sorry about that. What would you give to young Latine entrepreneurs?
That is a deep one. And I feel like there's a lot of answers to that. But I think, first of all, it starts with finding something that you love to do. I think if you combine entrepreneurship with something that you love, it makes it that much easier to achieve, and it makes it a lot easier to be an entrepreneur and to keep going, because, there are a lot of tough moments in that path to entrepreneurship. But when you're doing something that you love, it makes it easier to get to those tough moments because you have, that goal, that light at the end of the tunnel that that you want to achieve. And it's not about doing it. I don't think it's about doing it for the money. Like, yeah, there's good money in entrepreneurship, like there is in many things. But if you're pursuing it just for the money, then you're probably going to hit roadblocks that are going to make you quit. Whereas if you're pursuing something you love, that's going to give you that extra push when times get tough, especially during, things like scenarios like now, like COVID. No one saw it coming, but I think the entrepreneurs that are doing the best right now and are performing the best are the ones that are truly passionate about what they're doing.
Well, how would you like our viewers to support your business?
Honestly, just viewing my work at jesseovalles.com, JesseOvalles.com. That would be great. You can give me a follow on Instagram. It's just my name at Jesse Ovalles. And, if you like what you see, definitely reach out. But I think right now, one of the most helpful things, like I said before, would be connecting me with people who would be interested in participating in my Archetype project, local community heroes that want to get their voices heard, that want to get their messages out there. I think that would be the most important thing during these times, and that would help tremendously. So definitely take that into consideration.
Great. So now for this part of the interview, we would like for you to provide a 1 to 2 minute elevator pitch about your businesses and any messages that you would like to share out?
You know, if you're looking for video production or photography services, whether it be for weddings or events, or it's for your business, if you want to work with a vendor that, you know, is collaborative, that definitely will want to see your vision through and isn't necessarily just trying to do it one way. You know, my way of working is very flexible, and I pride myself in that. That's definitely something that I want to continue to do. So if you are interested in any of those kind of services and that sounds good to you, then definitely reach out.
Perfect. With that said, that is all the time that we have now. Thank you, Jesse, for joining us.
Of course, thank you. Appreciate it.
And for everyone at home, make sure to like our YouTube video, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and follow us on the social media platform at Latin Entertainment _presents. And make sure you join and support Latine-owned businesses Facebook group. This is Juan Pablo Esquivel, and see you next time on Cooperative Economics and Latinidad.
Mi gente presente.
Attention, attention. I got some things I want to mention.